You know, I thought I was prepared for this, and I think I wasn't. Let me check something else real quick too. I gotta check the audio output, microphone. Why is the speaker? Oh, it's up to 20. Okay, good. 20 to boost. All right. How we doing? I like to start by saying, this has been one hell of a week. I am moving where I don't know. Well, I do know where. I just don't know when, or what place. In the meantime, I spent a week of not packing when I should have been packing, or at least preparing to pack. And I went shopping. I got like 14 boxes last night. No, 24 boxes last night. And I gotta get more boxes. I basically ran out of acting exercises. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to talk about procrastination. No, I'll get to it. So yeah, essentially what it is, I have to pack. I have to get things together, and my problem is I'm having a hard time trying to get everything together. I bought 4 large boxes, and I end up using them all just for my games. And then after I get all the majority of them packed, I get majority of things packed. I packed a few statues. I haven't got to my clothes yet, let alone the kitchen. I have boxes that I never unpacked before. Some got damaged. I retaped them and made them look present. I looked inside them, make sure they're there. I found like 4 boxes of DVDs I didn't know existed. And I still haven't I think I got maybe 30% done. And I got moved by next Saturday, a week from Saturday. And plus my work is actually going to have me finally come down, which even if I was working down at my location, the problem was I wouldn't be able to pack fast enough. I would have to ask somebody to come help pack. And I'm going to have to do that anyway, and they're not going to like it. So yeah, that's been my week. I'm actually planning right now, if I get the papers signed and have my move-in date set, what I'm more likely going to do is I'm going to travel down to Vancouver, Washington, and on a Friday, I'm going to have the car loaded with a bunch of stuff, a lot more likely boxes that I don't, that are oddly shaped and everything, and can go into the it can easily go into something else. So my plan is to pack all that stuff up, and then after I get the keys, the place I'm trying to get has a garage, and other things, and I'm going to toss some stuff in that garage and everything. All right. So that's been the initial start of my week. I can tell you more, but I don't want to because it's a little bit more personal. There has been changes to my YouTube channel. You notice that it has my name Vincent attached to it. I got tired of seeing Shadow. So Vincent is now attached to my thing. And we are going to play a yacht rock song by the Professor. Yeah. Nick Harrison. And we are going to, these are short segment songs. These aren't full long videos. So this one is, what if Slayer was yacht rock? Hopefully I don't get the audio set up wrong.
What if Slayer was yacht rock? Everybody who asked for this, there's something wrong with you.
Get the groove in.
Trapped in purgatory, a lifeless object alive, awaiting reprisal. Death will be their acquittance. The sky is turning red. Return to power draws near. Fall into me the sky's crimson tears. Abolish the now ornaments dripping above. The sky is by many, now ornaments dripping above. Awaiting the hour of reprisal, your time slips away.
So there was a scene in a movie. I'm going to try to find it here and show you about it. It's a really good scene. The movie is called Mr. Holland's Opus, and he talks about chords, essentially. How? Let's see. Okay. No, I'm not going to do that. No, I don't want that. He's given a lecture on how ballads are only really the best ballads, the best songs are only made up of 3 chords. And I don't know if they have anybody clipped that on YouTube. It's actually really good. I think this might be this thing. I'm looking through it real quick here. So this is actually a person clipped it and has Chinese subtitles on it. All right. Yeah, so that is it. So it is the scene. The problem is that it's there's some Chinese subtitles, so it's a good scene. It talks about, he's trying to. It's effective music classroom teacher. I think this is what the scene is. I can't remember if this is the actual. No commercials. I can't show commercials. Skip. Pause. All right. Hopefully this is the right scene.
Let's take our seats, please. Anybody here know the difference between the Ionian and the Dorian scale?
Yeah.
Anybody? I just wanted to confirm the fact that I've made absolutely no impact on you in the last 5 months. Mr. Sullivan. Yeah. What kind of music do you like to listen to?
Don't be afraid.
Rock and roll. What about you?
Rock and roll.
You?
Classical.
Brown noser. Does anybody here like Johann Sebastian Bach? Other than you? I'll bet all of you, whether you know it or not, already like Johann Sebastian Bach. What's this called?
Mahler's Concerto.
Who wrote it?
The Toys.
Wrong. That was Minuet in G, and it was written by Johann Sebastian Bach. You hear it? Bum, 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 bum. And he wrote it in 1725. They are both prime examples of the Ionian scale. Now listen, and see if you can hear the connective tissue between what I just played and this.
All right, so he didn't do it. So that is one good thing. That's where, like I said, the yacht rock kind of stuff kind of kicks in. If you like music, you like music theory, if you like the understanding of the progression of life through music, Mr. Holland's Opus is a great movie. Highly recommend it. So, so yeah, there is a scene where he's playing. They're like going. I think it's the same thing. It's in the same. That scene sort of after that where he ends up playing 3 chords. Like, oh, that's the Beatles. And like, oh well, how about this? And then he plays another song that uses 3 chords, and it's like something different. And it's how things progress, and that's where I like the idea of the yacht rock music. It shows that how some music, where it sounds great in its own form, can be transformed and sound just phenomenal. And it sound not just phenomenal, but sound of beauty and something. All right. So that was the music theory there. So I'm going to go back again and rant some more on Dragon Age. I know I haven't, I shouldn't really do this, but I'm going to. What I'm going to talk about now that's kind of frustrating in some ways is the character creator. Again, the reviews for Dragon Age Veilguard was that the character creator is respectable and equally as equal to or better than the previous Dragon Age games. Being Dragon Age Inquisition and one in particular. But I'm going to take it back to all the way to the original Dragon Age itself. And what I got and what I've done is I created I got Dragon Age here. This is Dragon Age 1. I found out if you install the EA version of Dragon Age, it's kind of strange. There's a stabilization problem that goes on. If you played the Dragon Age version from what's it called? Steam, it has a weird graphical effects problem. I don't know. I don't have my CDs for Dragon Age. I couldn't install them to see if there's a difference. So this version here was installed via the EA launcher, the actual tool. And so I was going to go and say, let's create a new game, shall we? We're going to do an Origins. They have a character creation tool that you can test with, test with. But I can't find the actual. I can't find my version of it. I must have uninstalled it. So you can actually do a character creation tool for Dragon Age, if you want.
The Chantry teaches us that it is the hubris of men which brought the Darkspawn into our world. The mages had sought to usurp heaven, but instead, they destroyed it. They were cast out, twisted and cursed by their own corruption. They returned as monsters, the first of the Darkspawn. They became a blight upon the lands, unstoppable and relentless. The Dwarven kingdoms were the first to fall, and from the deep roads, the Darkspawn drove at us again and again, until finally we neared annihilation. until the Grey Wardens came. Men and women from every race, warriors and mages, barbarians and kings. The Grey Wardens sacrificed everything to stem the tide of darkness, and prevailed.
I don't know about you, this battle sequence is kind of cool.
It has been 4 centuries since that victory, and we have kept our vigil. We have watched and waited for the Darkspawn to return. But those who once called us heroes have forgotten. We are few now, and our warnings have been ignored for too long. Even be too late. For I have seen with my own eyes what lies on the horizon. Maker, help us all.
Okay, so that's Duncan. Those are Darkspawn. Darkspawn look entirely different in Dragon Age Dark Veil. So, again, for a character creation tool, I'm going to create a new character. So I'm going to create a new character. Now, it's very basic for the most part. You know, you got your male-female choice, right? Then you have, you know, the race choice. And then, you know, based upon what race you pick, those dwarves cannot be mages. Elves can be mages. There's human. There's elf. Elf can be any class, but depending on what you pick, depends on what character groups. Now you notice here there's 6 character groups. That's what they're kind of bragging about the other game, that there's 6, you know, choices of teams. So, but in here it's kind of different. If you're a human or elf, you got a warrior, and you got warrior, mage, and if you're a warrior, sorry, yeah, if you're an elf warrior, you can either be from the city or from so you could be a Dalish elf or a city elf. And then same thing for here. If you're a mage, mages always start in the mage's tower. And if you're rogue, same thing. Now go for dwarf. Dwarf is either that one or that one, and you either get king, royalty or castless. And then humans, you got choices: royalty for the fighter, mage for that one, and then royalty for this. So there's no other options. There's just royalty for this. Now, in this game,
Greetings.
they really, in this version of the game, they did look at all the cheek details you have, all the mouth sizes details, nose details, eyes. This game really didn't do much on the body per se. It was just mainly the face. And you have tons of options here to pick from. I mean, skill, complexion, you can make them old, make them super young, you know, skin tone, you know, blush color, yeah, blue blush, really. You know, intensity, all that stuff. So you have a fairly decent amount of choices, and it wasn't much. A nose, look at the detail you can put on the nose. But yeah, so you have a good detail amount type character. All right, so that's Dragon Age Inquisition, Dragon Age the Origins, the original. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to load up Dragon Age. I installed all the games, so Dragon Age 2, we're going to load that up. Let's see here. Launch it. I need to see if this will auto-detect. It says looking for game to capture. I got it set up to auto-detect games, so we should just, yeah, see. It's been a while since I loaded the game. Yeah, God, can't believe that. They cancel the classes in New York for no. I'm going to talk about no. I'm here to talk about Dragon Age Inquisition. I don't know why it's taking a long ass time to load. So let me minimize everything. Oh, maybe it launched finally, probably. Nope, it's still trying to launch. Why is it having a hard time launching? I just launched it the other day, so let's do it this way. Preparing the game again. EA, you're being a pain in my butt. Maybe it doesn't like the fact that I'm, broadcasting this. So Dragon Age 2 was sort of the same way when it came to close that down. Why is it taking so long to load the game? It never works right the first time. The time you want it to work right, it never does. I got no memory usage, CPU use fine. Why is it taking a long ass time to load? I did have to uninstall something the other day. It was really weird. My system was having wacky stuff, wacky problems. Okay. The game hates me. It really does. Seriously, let me cancel the EA launcher. It's like, wait a minute, you worked fine yesterday. Why aren't you working fine today? Okay, try it again. Dragon Age 2. 16% usage of the CPU. It's loading something. Why is it loading? Seriously, why is it loading? I thought my hard drive space would have been bad and all that, and so I cleared some hard drive space out for the games and everything. I do got to rework it. I got to replace some hard drives actually. I got some bigger drives I can put in place in some of the ones I have, so I got to do a backup and transfer. I use Cronus as my disk management tool. It shouldn't be preparing the game. It already had the game loaded before. Alright, let's kill EA entirely. Make sure there's no EA stuff running in the background. Oh, crap. Crap. Yeah, how'd you like that little lockup? Only Epic. Let's kill Epic Studios. The Epic Launcher. Sometimes it, you just gotta shut some stuff down to make things work. Alright. Reset that. Opera's not taking a whole lot of stuff. Discord's not taking a whole lot of stuff. Edge is taking a lot of stuff because, well, I got a lot of stuff loaded. But, alright, so let's try this again, shall we? Uh-oh. Do we gotta load? If this doesn't load for Dragon Age 2. So Dragon Age 2 is pretty much like Dragon Age 1, where you didn't get a whole lot of choices. It was either you play a male, female, human, warrior, a rogue, and that's it. And you only adjusted the face. It didn't really adjust the body. It didn't make. And the adjustments that you're allowed to make were pretty much the same thing that you had in Dragon Age 1, which is, very aesthetic appeal and everything to the face, and that was it. The body was just the body, and no one complained, no one compared. No one had an issue, but apparently it did. And like EA right now is having an issue, and he's pissing me off. It's still preparing to load the game. So we're going to switch here then we're going to skip then to Dragon Age Inquisition. This one should load. If EA is preparing in the background again, it's going to piss me off. It could be because I'm actually trying to broadcast it. That it's like going, oh, we ain't gonna do load of crap for you now, because you're viewing things. You're trying to do stuff, and we know that you want to do stuff. And if you want to do stuff, no. Seriously, could it be because I'm streaming? That doesn't make sense. No, we're not going. Yeah. Let's do this. Let's see what happens. Let's see if it ends my stream. So I reset Explorer. Let's load up EA directly again, because EA kind of sucks for that things. All right, Dragon Age Inquisition launch. I think it's because I'm trying to stream. It's actually giving me issues. It's like, I know you're going to talk shit about my game. I don't want to let you do it. The Inquisition. That's the game. The Inquisition. What a shame. The Inquisition. Sorry. You gotta watch Mel Brooks. History World Part 1 is awesome. They finally did make a History World Part 2. It didn't have the same feel. It wasn't there. It seemed more like a sanitized version of History World Part 1. That's all it felt like. And I'm like going, let the guy just make a movie. It says launching game. How are you launching game but not launching the game? I don't know. So while I was trying to think of launching, let's do this here. Let's play a video. Let's see. We did part 1. Let's do part 2. 5 forgotten TV shows. Yeah, 5 forgotten TV shows. Oh, you want to do? No, let's do 5 forgotten anime shows. This is 5 forgotten TV shows part 2.
Today's video is brought.
Oh, I cannot give you that. I cannot say that. That is his advertisement. That is not my advertisement. Because if I show that advertisement, that's saying that there are my. Yeah, he got a sponsor, I didn't, so I don't get to add that to my channel. All right. Here we go. In the meantime, if it launches, it launches. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So I'm kind of pissed off that it's not being kind.
Here's 5 animated shows you probably forgot about. Visionaries, Knights of the Magical Light. With the successes of shows like Masters of the Universe, Transformers, and G.I. Joe, American animation studio Sunbow worked with Hasbro, Marvel Productions, and TMS Entertainment to make Visionaries, Knights of the Magical Light. They were hoping to create another show that was more or less based on a toy line where they could introduce new toys within the show and sell them to the captive audience of children. The first episode aired on September 20th, 1987. The show is about the planet Prismos. Prismos was a highly advanced planet of technology until one day, the 3 suns of the planet aligned and the radiation shut down all technology on the planet like a massive EMP blast. Without technology, how else can they survive? By reverting to the old ways of magic, of course. The planet was split into 2 warring factions. The good guys, the Spectral Knights, and the bad guys, the Darkling Lords. The show ran for 13 episodes and was canceled on December 13th, 1987.
Before
it seemed
Christmas.
like they were hoping for the toys to be a hot ticket item for Christmas, and had them on the market right around when the show was canceled. While the show had an interesting theme, the toys were kind of underwhelming. Each character was a basic figure that had a holographic sticker on it that would be its animal totem, which gave them unique powers based on whatever the animal was. In the cartoon, some of the characters could transform into their animal totem, while with the toy, you could just flail them around and make animal noises.
Yeah, pretty much.
With enough imagination as a kid, you could make it work. It didn't really matter now, though. With the show canceled, the toys sat on the shelves, and the whole thing was mostly forgotten.
Yeah, what they could have done with the ones that transformed, they could have actually given, like in the spider there, they could have had a little spider figure in the toy package with it, but they didn't. They just had the guy in the toy. That was it.
There was a planned second wave of toys, but that was scrapped when the show was canceled. In November of 1987, Marvel released a comic based on the show as a bi-monthly series.
Which I liked.
With the show being canceled, they also killed the comic in September of 1988 after 6 issues. Decades later, history was in the process of repeating itself. The Transformers and G.I. Joe movie franchises were pulling in hundreds of millions of dollars at the box office. Although Transformers was more successful here than G.I. Joe. Anyway, since cinematic universes were all the rage, Hasbro was looking to start one by combining their other toy lines. The universe was going to be a huge endeavor combining Mask, ROM, Micronauts,
ROM was awesome.
G.I. Joe, and Visionaries. However, with Transformers sales dwindling and the concept of cinematic universes losing much of their luster, the idea was put on indefinite hiatus. In 2004, the complete series was released on DVD in the UK. It's since gone out of print and is very expensive for the 2-disc set. Sectars. Sectars Warriors of Symbion was, like a lot of 80s cartoons, a combined effort of toy line, comic book series, and cartoon. This one was a little different though. The comic and toy line came first, and then about a year later was the cartoon. The first episode aired on September 15th, 1985. It was intended as a miniseries that retold the stories from the comics, although in a very scaled-down fashion. The series was about the planet Symbion. Due to a failed lab experiment, the planet mutated into a hellscape.
Inquisition finally loaded, that's why our pause.
There's the good insect people, led by Prince Dargon, and the evil insect people, led by General Spydrax, who started the Terror Troops. The lore and history was much greater in the comic, but the show did what it could to tell as much of the story as possible within each 22-minute episode. The show had some great voice talent, with Arthur Burghardt, Peter Cullen, Dan Gilvizin, Tress MacNeille,
I made a mistake.
DJ Ward, Neil Ross, and of course, Frank Welker. The show was helmed by the studio Ruby Spears Productions. They had hoped if the miniseries did well, they'd continue with a full series. The toys each came with a mini-comic that spotlighted the character or playset it came with. Beyond the comics, they had Sectar storybooks and coloring books. The merch machine was running full steam ahead with notebooks, buttons, fan club packs, and more. Despite all this, the series fizzled. It's rumored the toys were too expensive, and the cartoon didn't catch on. Plus, it seemed the comics didn't sell well either. The last episode aired on October 12, 1985, after the 5th and final episode of the miniseries. The series may have been a little too dark for kids. Look at the intro, with people melting and the world mutating into a bug-infested disaster. Spydrax's giant flying spider is nightmare fuel.
Yeah, pretty much.
The toys were from Coleco. The figures were bigger than a lot of the other toys at the time, which was to match the size of the
I kind of liked it, because those the flying spiders,
came with a companion
they're hand puppets.
In a unique spin for the toys, the companions were hand puppets.
Yeah.
So they could mount the Sectar on the back and animate them into battle. It was something that, to my knowledge, hadn't been done before. It added an element of immersion to the toys beyond just knocking them around. While the show was very short-lived, it still had its fans. In 2018, there was a Kickstarter that was aimed at restarting the toy line. The first Kickstarter was successful, and they were able to make the first 6 figures. They tried to launch another crowdfunding for Wave 2 in early 2021, but it wasn't successful. Zika Toys announced that they are done with the franchise and have moved on to other toy lines. I'm sad because I had no idea, and I would have totally put in for a new Spydrax figure. There's now a website, sectars.com, that has a wealth of information about the series, the toy line, and lots of gorgeous artwork. It even has scans of the comic series. The miniseries is available on YouTube, but the show has never been officially released on DVD. There's copies out there, but I'm pretty sure they're just VHS rips. If you want to know even more, there's a documentary called The Story of the Sectars, which is on both Amazon Prime and YouTube. Centurions.
I like
Centurions was a
Centurions.
sci-fi animated show from Ruby Spears. What set this apart was legendary comic artist Jack Kirby and Gil Kane helped with the design and concepts for the show. Animation director Norio Shioyama designed the characters. Like Sectars,
I had a couple of these
Centurions
figures, too.
started with a 5-part miniseries. Unlike Sectars, the miniseries did well and the show was picked up for a full season. The first episode of the miniseries aired on April 7th, 1986. The first episode of Season 1 aired on September 22nd, 1986. The animation was handled by Nippon Sunrise's Studio 7 in Japan. Sunrise was responsible for tons of anime, from Cowboy Bebop to Inuyasha. The show takes place in the not-too-distant future. An evil cyborg scientist called Doc Terror and his army of cyborgs are trying to take over the world and turn its inhabitants into robot slaves. A group of highly trained specialists who wear these sort of mech suits that allow them to plug in all sorts of weapons to help them fight Doc Terror. This was a precursor to the extreme 90s because in order for the Centurions to join with their power systems, they have to shout, "Power Extreme!" For some reason, the last 5 episodes, starting with episode 61, was a miniseries unto itself that was shown out of order. It was written to introduce 2 new Centurions, Rex Charger and John Thunder, not to be confused with Johnny Thunders. The problem was, Rex and John were already on the show starting way back in episode 42.
Yep.
So these 2 new guys just appear as part of the team, and then weeks later we see their introduction and no one knows who they are. The toys were, for lack of a better description, like a futuristic Mr. Potato Head. You had your action figures with various slots where you'd plug in whatever gizmo you wanted. It made the toys very mix and match, which naturally encouraged kids to bug their parents to buy them more figures. The last episode aired on December 12th, 1986. Even though it was only 1 miniseries and 1 season, it still ran for a total of 65 episodes. That's a crazy amount of episodes for 1 season.
That's at least
To
3
put it into
seasons in regular.
perspective, Transformers ran for 4 seasons, but only had 98 episodes. The original 5-part series was released on DVD in 2011. They split season 1 into 2 sets, but at least the full series is available. Starcom. Starcom
This I
US
don't
Space
remember.
Force is an animated series based on the motorized toys from Coleco. It was produced by Deke and distributed through the short-lived Coca-Cola Telecommunications, or CCT. The first episode aired on September 20th, 1987. The series was created not only to help sell the toys, but also to get kids interested in the NASA space program. The show is about the American Astronaut Brigade fighting off invasions by the Shadow Force, led by the evil Emperor Dark. Interesting that instead of making a series that showed the wonders of the space program as a way to get the interest of kids, they made the show similar to so many other shows at the time. A group of elite technicians fight a mysterious enemy. I imagine any kid interested in NASA would be upset to find out that they don't fight with space aliens.
Yeah.
Or do they?
Dun,
The
dun,
show ran
dun.
for 13 episodes but was canceled, with the last episode airing on December 13th, 1987. The series was rerun through most of the early 90s on various networks. The toys were originally produced by Coleco, but they were rebranded and produced by Mattel for the overseas market. The originals had the US flag and NASA stickers, while the Mattel ones did not. The Mattel line launched in 1990. While the show and the toys failed to do well in the US, it was popular in both Europe and Asia, where it was rebranded. In February of 2015, the series was released on DVD in the US. I have to wonder if anyone who watched the show as a kid grew up and now works for NASA. Battletech. Battletech, the animated
Battletech,
series,
awesome.
was based on the popular war game of the same name. It was the 10th anniversary of the game, so FASA, the owners of Battletech, wanted to expand its reach. They partnered with the studio Saban to do the animated
Saban
show
Studios?
and Taiko to make the toys. The show was produced by Saban, you know, the company that published English dub versions of shows like Samurai Pizza Cats and Digimon. Also that Power Rangers show that I hear is pretty popular.
Yeah.
The first episode aired on September 10th, 1994. As a way to make it stand out, they decided to do a mix of traditional animation with some futuristic-looking computer animation. The show takes place in the year 3050.
There was also
where a
the
peaceful
Battletech
region of
simulator that was
space is
about that
invaded
time.
by a group calling themselves the Clans. Major Adam Steiner leads a group of battle mechs to fight back against the Clans. It's unclear
Steiner.
as to what ultimately killed the show, if it was too expensive, had poor ratings, or the legal troubles that FASA was dealing with at the time. Possibly a combination of all three. Toy Galaxy has a much more in-depth look at the series if you'd like to know more. The show ran for 14 episodes, one of which was a clip show. The last episode aired on December 10th, 1994. A sourcebook companion for the animated series, First Somerset Strikers, was published in 1995. This covered stats and scenarios for tabletop fans to use in their campaigns. All the episodes are on YouTube, and the channel that uploaded them was kind enough to clean them up so they don't look like straight VHS rips. Unfortunately, unless FASA decides to officially release them, this is the best we'll ever get.
Yeah,
Well, that's 5 animated shows. I have another few animated ones lined up, with one focusing on some really, really bizarre animated shows that I think you'll enjoy. Stay tuned.
All right, so it finally did load. What was happening was it was trying to communicate with because it's kind of weird for Dragon Age. For Dragon Age the Origins, it syncs up with the cloud. It doesn't sync up with the cloud. Everything's stored locally, save games and all. But Dragon Age Inquisition and Dragon Age 2, they try to sync and put save games on the cloud. Unfortunately, my cloud is full of save games from other games, and also screenshots and everything. So it was having a hard time loading it with that. All right, so here we go. Plus, I did a reset of all my settings for all my video games. I did a reset for all my video games in EA, or not EA, but NVIDIA, and as a result of it, everything's now windowed, or is now full screen, and I usually play in windowed full screen, so I can do interactions and stuff like that. So here, and the audio, if you hear, the audio is kind of off because something is broken that way. I don't know what it is. If it doesn't control the audio, it doesn't control the audio. So we're going to go new game here. Shield right to the face. Now this one has sort of the same thing that Veilguard has. Veilguard kind of does this. Veilguard uses this character selection tool when creating your Inquisition character. It doesn't use this character selection tool when you create your own character. Alright, so as you can see, there are various cards of races. Human, elf, dwarf, and my kind of favorite, the Qunari. You can also pick male, and the cards look different for male and female. Let's go back to female here. And we're going to go back to Qunari, because Qunari is my favorite. So we say select. Now you have the options to either be a dual-wielding rogue, which is my favorite rogue, archer rogue, a two-handed warrior, a shield, and my next favorite is the mage. So we're going to pick mage. Oh look, you can either pick the difficulty of the game. I'm just going to go normal for now. And it says, okay, here you go. This is what you have. Now, again, in the other one, it uses other selections, as I talked about in my previous video about how they have selections for your various characters. So we do that. So we go select. World state import. So here it is. So in Dragon Age 1, you're always connected to the BioWare server. So I can check for downloads, check for updates, stuff like that. Dragon Age 2, same thing. You're connected to the server, so it does system checks, and it uploads your data to the cloud server, or in this case the world state import from DragonAgeKeep.com, as I shown in my last video. Now here is the kicker. The kicker is this game gets all the world state material, because everything's kind of supposed to take place. Dragon Age 1 or Dragon Age 2 starts in towards the end of the Blight, and eventually goes to the end. Eventually goes after the Blight is already ended and the world has been saved from the Blight. This, if I remember right, takes place shortly after Dragon Age 2, where there are, it's going to import, the Alistair situation. It's going to import, in this case, I think I set up my world data with, my other, my female mage and all that. So yes, I'm going to say, yes, I want to import my custom world state. It'll use a default state that it picks, and I think you get some selection, but, oh yes, I want to import this stuff. It was successfully imported. And let's go to confirm the world state. Unfortunately, it doesn't tell you what it did. Now, in Mass Effect, it tells you what it did, what the world state was from the previous games. Another good thing what Mass Effect did, it used to just import from your previous game, and then you played it, but it found out that the import was kind of wrong. And so what they created what's called the Mass Effect Genesis. Genesis is a comic book interaction video which goes over the important data that they really need from Mass Effect 1. And you pick your selections like that. You can import your character fine, your character way your character looks, but you don't get much more than that. Alright, so this goes into the character creation tool. I generally didn't like these kind of horns. And braided hair was not my favorite situation. Like I said, they said that they had the comparable look to, see, this is like the Sten look to the other Dragon Age. So we'll pick this one here. Now you have select or customize. This is a general look. You got the generalized face shape and stuff like that to what you want. You could, baseline your character from. The skin tone, complexion, as everything else. The eye color, the horns. Yeah, let's change the horns out. Which horns did I generally pick? I think... yeah, horns. Yeah. The Sten look. I think I picked those last time. And they got hair color. Oh, that's right. That was one thing about this game, is that they didn't allow you to pick your hair design for the Qunari. So you got what you got based upon the horns, if I remember right. And I usually did usually picking this one for my character. Let's make her a redhead. Always a sucker for redhead. And then let's go to voice. Ready?
I just hope I can help.
You leave me no choice.
Again, mid-range to upper range. To lower range, sorry.
How much is this going to cost?
No, mid to upper.
Exactly.
The other one's kind of different. There you go. Let's go back. All right, we got that one, got jaw. And if you look, you don't get to pick the body. Again, who cares? The body is, whatever. And, there are mods that allow you to alter the body's looking like that. But yeah, this was it. This was all you got for that. But this is what you don't have in Dragon Age Veilguard. You don't have this slider, which gives you way more detailed control. I have not been able to find that slider, the slider utility. This is what made Dragon Age Inquisition so freaking awesome. Is, you have this slider utility to allow you to really customize what your character kind of look like. Cheekbone, can make it almost no cheeks to too many cheeks. The cheek shape, round it out, make you very gaunt. Make it flat. I'll be honest. I actually tried to get my, and of course the horns in this one doesn't look bad. I mean, this doesn't look, generally doesn't look bad as it is. Yeah, you had to install Nexus mods for hairstyles in order to get a different hairstyle with these guys. It was kind of frustrating in that sense. So now, yeah. So anyways, what you have here is what you have. But if you notice something, she is a pretty good size individual. And yeah, scars only apply to the face, and that was it. Nothing more. I'm doing a Biden. Sorry. Yeah, you couldn't really do anything more than that. You couldn't, you didn't do the body. But, you know, again, what I was trying to say is, let me go back here. She is, and this is a she in my world. She is more than a B cup. Because, well, she's a very big, tall Canary individual. And most Canaries are kind of big. And this, we got different colors. Again, this is stuff that you don't have as an option in, as Velgard says, we give you more options. I'm like going, no, the face option is, you know, is so much different. So here we go, let's go back this way. Let's go, say back, go back to the menu, because I want to pick an elf this time. Oh, another thing you don't have in this one and the other one, and this one's under several discussions, no matter who you are. So, new game. Alright, shield to the face, please. Thank you. We are going to pick a female elf. Actually, let's go dwarf. And she is a two-handed warrior. Normal. And Carta. Now, this is another thing. You could, you know, a Carta dwarf, yeah. Yes. It was successful. Confirm. Alright. So, what was I going to talk about? You know, Jimmy can crack corn and I don't care. But, alright, you didn't hear me say that. That's actually a song, a slavery song, if I remember right. I might just edit that on my video. Oops! Yeah, I'm not going to go anywhere with that. Alright, so here we go. Female dwarf. Now, the female dwarves in the other one is kind of clunky. And again, you got makeup, jawline, all the eyes, ears, body, but nothing on the body. But yeah, so here's my little argument. In Velgard, not only can you adjust the bald size, so again, you can see this one, this character is roughly a C cup to a B, you know, a little over a B to a C. Nothing exaggerate. You can't make the changes on it. You cannot make changes on it. Don't care. But yet you have under the head and ears. No, that's not what I want. I want general hair. You can pick different styles of hair. Yeah, bald, low, carry forward. And it's limitation. It is very limited. Just even in Dragon Age Origins, it's very limited the hairstyle you can pick. I think I have this hairstyle for my character in Origins. I started up a new game just because I discovered that I did a playthrough with a dwarf as a castless dwarf, but I never did one as a noble dwarf. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm playing a noble dwarf in that one, and I'm playing a female noble dwarf. So,
as long as the job gets done, I don't care about the rest.
Voice
Everything
options.
you've heard, completely true.
As long as the job gets done, I don't care about the rest.
Only two choices. Alright. But yeah, so you really don't, it doesn't really adjustment to the body. You don't have body adjustments. And that is the one good thing that Dragon Age Veilguard has. You have some body options, and it's fine. I like body options. You know, like any other person in this world, body options is a good thing. But as you saw in some of the videos, there's some things about body options that people don't like. Let's see. We're going to quit, and then we're going to load. We're going to have a pause because of the video driver, you know, being enabled. All right, so then we're going to load Dragon Age Veilguard, and that launched very quickly compared to the other two. I gotta fix this real quick here. Gotta minimize that, make that big, and hopefully it will find the game. Looking for a game to capture. Oh, and you like my little group back here? Group with the top hat and a monocle. Oh, and a mustache. I just repaired him. His arm was actually broken. Okay, still looking for a game. Why is it still looking for a game? And I am getting stuttering now on my end here because it's going through the verifying shader process. And it's done. Okay, I'm going to do a quick adjustments to the game settings for the graphics, and we're going to allow. Actually, that's under display. Sorry. We're going to go into Windows. Borderless window apply, and then I can try to find Dragon Age over here. Yes, accept those settings. Specify Dragon Age Inquisitions, Dragon Age Veilguard. Here we go. There we go. Now we got Dragon Age Veilguard. Alright, so in here, okay, there's a new game.
I knew him as Solus. Smart, thoughtful, loved to hear himself talk. But long ago, he had a different name. The Dreadwolf. Ancient elven god of lies, or heroic rebel against tyranny, depending on which story you believe. In his desperate fight against the corrupt elven gods, Solus imprisoned them, creating a veil that split our world from the raw magic of the Fade. He had won. But the veil
so you notice how many there are there?
everything.
That's the number of the old gods.
Their
You're only
magic,
fighting 2 of them.
their freedom, even their immortality.
Even then, that's, you know, even then you're not really fighting.
Solus
You're
wants
fighting
to
their
tear
minions.
down that veil
I think that's pretty much
and
it.
undo the damage he caused, even if that means our world has to burn. Somebody's got to stop him, and that's where you come in.
So that introduction to me says, "Oh, we're playing the original. The original game was called the Dreadwolf, and so, but instead it's now called, you know, Veilguard, which is kind of odd because the veil's broken. So how are you know?" All right, so yeah, here you have your various, you know, you have your elf, you have your Canary, you have your human, and then you have your dwarf, which looks better than Dragon Age 1, by the way. So here's the controversy that everybody has. We are going to continue. And then we're going to, you have your default characters that you can pick from. These are the 2 big controversies that everybody has. I'm not going to go over this. I don't care. So the one thing that people complain about, one, of course, the skin tone thing is just so freaking weird. you have to kind of change the background to this background here to get a good judgment of what the skin's going to look like. Because if you don't, this default is kind of weird. Doesn't make it look right. So that kind of makes it a little better. So you got head shape, complexion change, and then this. There, larynx. And you go depth. Adam's apple? No Adam's apple. Adam's apple? No Adam's apple. You can go up, down, make it wide or small, all that. Again, I got into a discussion with someone who goes, well, females have Adam's apples too. I go, well, yes, they do, but they're not as prominent as most men. Like mine, you can't see because I got fat and my beard in place. And mine, Adam's apple is not that big to begin with. But you could, when I was skinnier and much younger, you can see it. It was there. Basically, if I was skinnier. Even on most skinny, bodybuilding, muscular women, they don't really have an Adam's apple. So when I create my characters, we'll lay down to 0. You know, that was it. And then they're so excited. So in other words, then we go chin. Now, remember, once when you got things you wanted set for in characters, they want to make minor adjustments based upon the default face. You don't have that anymore. You don't have that window where you can cycle through until you figure out which one you got correctly. So right then and there on the facial aspect of this game, Dragon Age Veilguard, it is lacking to what Dragon Age Inquisition could do. Right there from the start at the thing. This is going back to original Dragon Age 1 Origins and Dragon Age 2, where it's all sliders to pick the after you pick your default, the adjustments to what you want for the face. That is what the difference is. So again, it's not, in that sense, it's not, you can't compare this to Dragon Age Inquisition. Dragon Age Inquisition is a much better game in that sense because of that selection for the face. What this game adds is this proportional thing. So you got you know, there's a slight problem with this baseline female. And people, again, will argue like, well, you're wrong, you're wrong. So what is the difference? No, not that one. This was the base figure that they allowed you to pick from the default one you get allowed to pick. I got her up to max buffness, so muscles and everything. Her shoulders are wider than her hips. The average woman, even I can't quite say bodybuilding women because it's different for bodybuilding women. But there's the bodybuilders woman or fitness model woman or woman that does fitness events and routine, their shoulders are generally even with their hips, not wider than their hips. It's just a natural physical stature. But of course, this game is selling you something. And if you say it's not selling you something, then you gotta go look at some of the videos of what was released. What again about this game I kind of like is that you have the height slider. They didn't have that in the other games. The shoulder width is, and if you bring it in, you try to bring it in to a reasonable, it just looks so bad. And then of course the chest size. You have less than A, barely A, and then barely B. How do I know those ones? I've dated women with those measurements. And of course the waist width, you know, I'm the kind of guy that likes a semi-hourglass, although I've dated girls that haven't. And the hips, there you go. So now the hips kind of match a little bit. My problem is I would have to, not undergarments. Yeah, let's do the undergarments. There you go. I usually generally make my starting character roughly about here in this area range. This range, I dated girls that like that. That's not that bad. Right about there. This is kind of weird. You can see here, the more you get to the muscular, the more they take the hips off. Because I have my hips at 100%. Yeah. So here the hips are just, you know, way wide. It's about right there. So I'm usually creating characters roughly about here. And that just, they're taking away the hips right there. And then the next part that I don't like. I think in proportions. The very last one. This one. Do you have a bulge? Do you not have a bulge? Bulge? No bulge. Bulge? No bulge. Of course, if I'm making my female characters, I have that. So this is roughly about the character I would create, starting. Then I'll get the body first, and I'll get the face first. Again, I applaud them for that. I applaud them that they allowed you, other than Dragon Age 1, 2, and 3, they allowed you to have body proportional status that you can make. But in Dragon Age 2 and 3, the female body proportion is roughly C cup. And in this one, you have barely A and barely B. Those are your options. And, which, again, since they give you body options where the other ones didn't, it's fine. I mean, not the best things, but I'm fine. It's just, when the head portion of it, this is all what the first games dealt with. This game lacks in what you were able to do in Dragon Age, Dragon Age 1 and 2 and 3. It matches 1 and 2. It lacks what you can do in 3. And plus the head looks so cartoonishly big. I would go head size, head shape. This is a pretty cool utility. I used it once and then I like, oh, that kind of sucks. Because in here, you can pick which head style you want to start with and then merge it together from the other ones. Again, it's an upgrade from the previous one, but a downgrade because you still can't, after you set your presets, you can't do the minor adjustments so it looks the way you want it to look. Now, where is that? Where is it at? Where's that? Head width, there we go. Let's give a smaller head by 100%. And then you have to bring the face back in a little bit because, well, it's elf, so it's whole. The Dragon Age creation tool, where they said Valgard, that's maximum breast setting, by the way. They say Dragon Age Valgard is body shape. No, not body shape. Proportions. Yeah. Minimum, maximum. Barely B. They said that you have great things and everything, and it's, I don't deal with scars either. Especially this one. Why? Sorry. I'll be called a turf for this reason. For this one. I love the hair. The hair effects are great. I like the idea of what they did to most of the creation tool. But that is my rant for Dragon Age creation, for Dragon Age Valgard again. The last one before this I did, talking about the character, how they took away your choices as a individual. And yeah, oh yeah, here we go. That's right. Let's go. I can show it. I can actually show it here finally. Sorry. So let's accept that. And then we continue. Now, let's see. We'll make it a rogue. Explore. So. Looks like a duelist more than anything else. There's your faction choices. Now they give you 6 faction choices, which is kind of nice. And I like the outfits that they made differences. Huh. Interesting. So different for the Canary and the humans. Okay, Grey Warden Rogue. Now here, aggression level. We'll pick here. That's fine. This right here is all you get when picking what happened in Dragon Age Inquisition. In other words, it doesn't link to the keep, it doesn't link to anything else. This is what you get. This little customization tool. Alright. And we're going to make changes. Edit the Inquisitor. My Inquisitor, of course, is this one. Canary. Now I would have to customize it again and try to get it. I would have to actually have a picture of my old Canary to get it. Now again, the hair is a big difference. I don't like these hairs that they have. This is the only one that comes close to being good. This one's not too bad either, but all these other ones kind of looks crap. You know. To be honest, I think I kind of like to have bangs. And of course, you know, that's kind of close as you get to bangs. Still semi-shaved head. No, accept these changes. Alright. Then you go continue, and then you got the name. Alright, we'll keep the name there. And let's see, there's that. And we finalize it. Yep, we're going to finalize the Inquisitor. And here's the choices you get. Who did you love? Wait a minute, there's more to the story. Alright. Let's say Josephine, Blackwall. Well, since I'm a what's what I'm looking for? Yep, I'm gonna pick Blackwall. Grey Warden. Did you disband it or did you keep it a part of it? Oh, I disbanded it. And then did you side with him? Did you stop Solus or vow to stop him, or did you vow to save him? And I go, you know, when you say vow to save him, this is a kind of cool thing. You lost your arm because he essentially cut off, you know, forced you to cut off your arm to save yourself, and so there's a wooden hand there. And that's it. That is your choices. You have no other choice, no other thing that that complements you from the previous game. That is it. This right here is what makes me kind of upset with Veilguard the most. I mean, you can nitpick a lot of the things about it. You can nitpick the political science things about it, but this right there, this one little thing about all the stuff you did in the previous inclinations of Dragon Age, everything you did prior to that is no longer an option. So that is my another rant for Dragon Age. I may clip this and post it as a separate video. I don't know yet. But I need to end this on a happy note, shall we? Exit the game here. Go back. Yep, exit. I may create a human character or a male character. I haven't decided that yet. Just one of those things. Alright, so we're going to end this on a happy note today. I talked a little longer. I gotta finish packing. I'm nowhere near close. Where did he come from? Whoops. Got things back there I forgot was there. Okay, where is it? Nope, that's not it. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. We are going to close those down. Okay, so we're going to pick another Dragon Age song and end it on that. I did take it back. Let's do a search. All right, so yeah, that'll be a good one. He only has real 2 Dragon Age songs. Age of the Dragons, one of them, and All as One.
Everyone who hates ads will be using this.
Everything that hates ads, I'm not going to listen to that commercial. All right, pause it. All right, this is Miracle of Sound. All as One by Miracle of Sound. Is symphony metal. Oops. Well, it would be if I had the volume turned up. Let's try it again, shall we? Oh, if you notice, Varric is a strawberry blonde, or almost close to redhead in this game. And Veilguard, he's a great hair brunette.
From the ashes, lost enigmas in the dust. I cannot remember, though they tell me that I must. Sky is torn asunder, fear that breaks the brave will not drag me under, climb out of the grave. Make a sign or false divine, this mark of worth I wear. Hardened are these faithful scars I bear.
That's the crossroads. Nothing like it is in the game now.
Stand side by side, carry all as one, we can bear this weight. Stand side by side, we won't come undone, for the hands that will carry us home are touched by fate.
Morgan. Oh, look it, it's a pride demon.
Into the future, reach into the fade, stop out the abuser, stop that bloody blade, maker's breath or wind of death, it matters not to me, be it one or none or synergy.
Oh, look, Solus.
Hold on to what you strive for. Hold on to what you fight for.
Look at that bull. All right. So, Miracle Sound. Highly recommend his music. Recommend everything else. I hope you don't mind the fact that I kind of went a long rant today on both on Dragon Age again. It's because that's what I'm playing right now, on top of World of Warships, and I'm also in the process of moving, and I'm finding things that kind of remind me of like, oh my god, that's right. There's that story. There's that story. There's that, and there's that. You know, just listening to everything on and off. And yeah, it is so odd to see something fall so heavy. I mean, what I mean fall so heavy. So apparently, the sales for Dragon Age Veilguard was nowhere near what it was for Star Wars Outlaws, and apparently there's a lot of people doing a lot of refunds. I thought about it. I really did. After playing the game for about 20 minutes, I'm like, 20, 30 minutes, I'm like going, I really don't like this game. It's not, there's the story, the dialogue. I mean, I haven't even gotten to the controversial parts of the story, but yeah, the dialogue is just so. They got to get the original writer back, the original guy who created Dragon Age. The dialogue in this game is just not there. It's not. It feels forced in some ways, and it's frustrating to see that in a game that I've been playing for a long time. I'm close to what? 14 years now? Something like that. All right. So, with that, folks, I'm glad everybody signed. Is everybody here? I hope I covered a lot of the stuff that they wanted to listen to, wanted me to talk about. If you please follow on the various media sources, being Twitch, YouTube, and also on Rumble. And I'm on X. My X account is a little bit more political than what I do when I try not to do here on the stream. When I try to present myself, I try to present myself to everybody here because it's I'm talking to you directly. The other one I just reposting a few things, so and also asking a lot of questions. Yeah, like, subscribe, or follow in the sense of the Twitter or Twitch. But so what I'll do is I'm going to sign off here and say that what I usually do is say be nice, be kind, and find that little thing of